Before we continue with the second act of Appointment on Mars, starring Leslie Nielsen, I'd like a very special word with you about a very special member of the Maslin quality family. And here it is. Spindrift, a really luxurious cotton broadloom featuring an exceedingly deep pile which ensures an air of richness to every floor. The pure white cotton fiber, with its natural affinity for dyes, an exclusive feature of cotton carpets, makes it possible for Maslin to bring you Spindrift in a multitude of colors, ranging from soft, muted pastels to pure, clear primitives. And any one of these carefully selected shades is guaranteed to dramatize your decorative scheme and flatter your furnishings. One of the new advantages of Spindrift is its plasticized backing, right there. Not only hugs the floor and eliminates those dangerous spills, but adds to the long wear and lasting beauty of the rug. The Maslin Spindrift is vat dyed. That, of course, means color fastness for the life of the rug. And, of course, it's washable. So, for Spindrift, the ultimate in luxury cotton broadloom, visit your Maslin dealer. See for yourself. Spindrift. A handsome cotton broadloom, really very luxurious, and by the way, very inexpensive. Only about $8.49 a square yard. See Spindrift, a beauty blend broadloom brought to you by C.H. Maslin, makers of fine carpets for more than 4 generations.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's having a good Wednesday. Um, we're back at it, back doing our thing, getting after this public domain content that we enjoy every Wednesday and Friday night. And of course, as we kicked off our season 9 premiere last week, we got into the first installment of Tales of Tomorrow, which is, as we discussed, one of the first sci-fi anthology series. It's from the early 50s, and it's, it is mostly sci-fi, but there's also some horror-ish stories. And we kicked off last week with an episode starring an old favorite of this show, Mr. Boris Karloff, as a time traveler, I believe. Right?
A time traveling doctor.
Yeah. He wasn't happy about being a doctor, but he was happy.
Was this pre? When did Doctor Who come out?
You're right. We're right on the cusp. I think like 10 years after this, maybe. Just a little, just missed it by that much.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he just didn't have that scarf.
That's all he was missing. Although he was not a very smart doctor, if you ask me, as we saw. He just kind of went in there thinking he could make $1 million by introducing, something that he just stole. And it goes to show you life don't work out like that.
Like a pretty penny on penicillin.
Yeah, that's what Karloff's character thought, but he learned. I mean, I was about to say real quick, but it was probably a slow and painful death in that hospital bed from whatever disease that he caught, which could have been cured by the very drug that he brought back with him to the past.
Womp womp.
There's your irony. So that's why, again, like we said last week, that's why Rod Serling called this the granddaddy of all sci-fi anthology shows. So again, that's some pretty big praise coming from a master of the form. So, and I don't know. I mean, last week's episode was pretty engaging throughout. At least it had like an ironic ending to it. At least it wasn't just a host coming out and saying, "Oh, and you know what the ironic thing was?" And you're like, "Why didn't you just show me? Why are you telling me? It's not as good." Even when it was Boris Karloff, it wasn't.
Well, the show's over, so here's the ending. I'll just tell you.
It was really frustrating, honestly, when Boris Karloff or John Newland would come on the screen, and you're like, "Well, there should have been at least 5 more minutes, 1 more 3-minute scene on the end of this episode, and you'd have a really solid episode." But then they would cut before the climactic thing that you're expecting, the ironic twist, and instead the host is telling you the ironic. So I think we can appreciate here that at least it seems like they'll show us there's no host, right? As we talked about, that's like the big difference with this show compared to
this show's flying without a net.
Yeah, no safety net. I mean, again, and it was all filmed live. As we talked about, it was kind of like Saturday Night Live in that sense of it was rehearsed and performed throughout the week, and then in this show's case, they shot on a Friday, and up to literally while they'd be filming, they'd be making script changes. Like, we're running 40 seconds over. Just cut this monologue at the end. Get this out of here. I mean, that's like kind of just what was common in the days of live television, but it's funny to think about that for a sci-fi anthology show, that you're literally flying by the seat of your pants. And there's actually an interesting bit of trivia with tonight's episode that is definitely an example of that, and so that'll be fun to see and talk about, but it comes at the end, so you'll have to wait for the end of the episode. But tonight's episode is entitled Appointment on Mars, and it stars Leslie Nielsen, who a lot of people know from his comedies, of course, Airplane and the Naked Gun movies. But before he became, a comedy legend, he was a very serious, dramatic actor. And I believe this is like one of his earliest kind of gigs. He was in a few roles on this show, a few different episodes. Mm-hmm. So this is
just
where
don't call him early.
No, if somebody does and he doesn't make the joke, I'm gonna be really disappointed, because he's a funny guy. He's just always be on. He better be on. No, I mean, we'll see if he's the funny guy. So again, he's an astronaut. This is about a group of astronauts on where else but Mars. And so
we've got an appointment.
We do have an appointment, and we've been waiting a long time. What is our numbers like in Beetlejuice, at the end when he has to take out the really long number in the waiting room. So it's how this is felt, but we're finally ready for our appointment. They've called up our number, so we're here for it, and we're gonna see just what Mars has to offer. Again, this is
do you think this
go ahead.
Do you think this episode inspired Rod Serling to make the 20 episodes of Twilight Zone where it's some astronauts land on a planet?
Dude, I was just about to bring up that same thing. 100%. Like, this has to be the blueprint, because that was the fact that I do love, is that there are at least 20 Twilight Zone episodes that are that. 3 astronauts on a planet, ... Mad Libs the rest of it.
Something happened.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
It's not too complex, but it does seem like there's a very good chance that, I mean, again, as Rod Serling has heard, he praised the show. So I do think that there's a possibility that, oh yeah, they made it work there. We can we can make 3 astronauts on this planet. Yeah, it's just so many of them like that. And
3 guys in a spaceship is the cornerstone of sci-fi.
it really is, isn't it? I mean, you couldn't have the crews of Star Trek or anything of that magnitude had it not been for just this, this ragtag group of 3 astronauts. So I don't know. I mean, again, a lot of these tropes come from short stories, pulp stories, or that were in short stories that were in sci-fi magazines, right? A lot of tropes kind of maybe that we see in TV and movies maybe come from those more than get credit for. And again, like we talked about last week, I think we talked about this last week, that this show is basically was produced by this guy who had gotten the rights to like 3,000 short sci-fi stories by writers who were writing for these magazines. He just got like a group of them together and it's like, hey, like, can I get the rights? And they're like, sure. It sounds really easy in the article that I, like he just, but
yeah, that's that.
But it's weird that they had 3,000 to come up with, and yet it seems like they, like the way that article describes it is like they were almost like hurting for episode ideas and stories. So like, I don't know, maybe most of them are pretty hard to adapt.
2,990 of them were terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would make sense, Well, you gotta really drudge through the dreck when it comes to sci-fi to get to the real primo stuff.
We got the rights to 3,000 stories, but man, I hate reading.
Gosh, yeah, I mean, not everything can be Dune, right? I mean, it's nothing can hold your attention like isn't that like so many pages? Like all those books, I guess all the books combined are like thousands of pages.
Yeah,
right?
they're pretty long. They're pretty big series.
And you've read it all, hadn't you? Evan won't brag about himself, but we'll brag about Evan for him.
As of now, I actually still haven't finished them. Read the first 4.
Well, that's still
read the important ones, I'd say.
There you go. Well, not the ones actually written by the guy, not written by his son.
Yeah, he wrote the first 6.
Oh my god, it's a lot of books.
And then his son wrote like 1 billion more.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, if the audience is there for it. You got to give them what they want. Keep churning.
Well, I guess you did.
And we'll just keep getting blockbuster movies, much to the benefit of the fans. But we'll be enjoying our little rinky-dink sci-fi over here. Again, we enjoy our public domain stuff. On Wednesday and Friday nights, who needs a multi-million-dollar budget? And you'll see.
While you're waiting for Dune Part 70 to come out, you can watch us instead.
Well, you'll see tonight in the rendering of Mars, they were really stretching the limits of their budget here, for sure,
okay.
Without a doubt. It'll be, anything before we get into it tonight, Evan?
Don't you hate when you have an appointment on Mars, but there's a 24-hour cancellation policy?
God, when am I going to be able to book another flight? It's going to be at least another 30 years. Yeah.
Got a layover in space.
The whole space airline system is a scam. I want a full refund and tickets to Jupiter. That's what I want. That's actually, that was my favorite planet growing up, Jupiter. Even though obviously there ain't no landing on Jupiter. But send me to Jupiter. That's where I want to go.
Yeah,
Take
heck
me
yeah.
there. Get me in
Yeah.
whatever kind of spacesuit or, you know.
When I die, shoot me into Jupiter.
Yeah, man. Oh my gosh. Just right into the what is it? Isn't there some kind of storm cloud or something on it? There's some big spot. Or am I thinking of another planet? There's
What the big red dot or something.
yeah, something like that. Something. I don't know, man. Planets. I mean, that's what I hope you've brushed up. I hope everybody's ready because we're about to blast off. So I think on that note, Evan, if you have it queued up.
I'm all checked in for my appointment.
Oh, and of course I don't have your. Okay, hold on. Let me get
I'm all blue.
Yeah, let me. I know. Hold on. I'll get you in here. Get you right where you're supposed to be. Right here. Gotta set you down. Real gentle like. Okay. All right, Evan, if you have it queued up,
I do.
we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting beginning of Appointment on Mars right now.
And now, C.H. Maslin presents Act One of tonight's Tale of Tomorrow. Appointment on Mars, starring Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen.
It's gonna be hard to not view this as a comedy.
I know.
Okay, I take it back. Hey, they're gonna be able to hear you two guys all the way back on Earth. Hey, what are you doing inside there anyway? I ain't got a surprise. Hey, Mo, come on out in the Martian sun.
He's going to come out some wacky getup, right? Oh, no.
Gentlemen,
You see
horsing
before you
around
this little carton, something
here on
I've
Mars.
carried tenderly low these many millions of miles. 34 million miles to be exact.
I've saved it for this special occasion. But then, of course, I know that you two fellas didn't travel all the way just to hear me talk.
Oh, sure. What's 34 million miles?
Gentlemen, may I give you beer? Hey, beer for the
Beer!
Beer for the adventure. Beer for the first visitors. Come on. Yeah, well, less talk and more beer, my friend. Thank you, sir.
Man, I'm surprised it kept so well on Mars.
yeah.
I guess I'm just about the happiest guy alive today. We made it. Actually made it. We did what they said we should never do. We did it alone, too. Well, I wouldn't go quite that far. Ah, all right. So we were subsidized by Standard.
Look, Standard was good and glad to give us some money. They're going to get half of what we find here. That'll be plenty, too.
Right. Anyway, I just want to tell you guys how I felt.
Okay, Toast. The guy who got us here, our good Captain Robert Malcolm.
Oh,
the good
cut it
ship Linda
out.
through the boy.
Yeah.
There you are, Bobby.
That's all right.
Can you imagine if the first astronauts to make it to Mars smuggled beer and
this is
cigarettes onto the
Bro, that would totally be me, man.
What?
We're not. If we're not living it up on Mars, what are we doing? What are we doing it for?
Yeah. No, I'm happy about it. Don't get me wrong. It's just that. Well, it's kind of strange.
It's nice, but
Really could use some smokes.
Streets and rocks. There were no people. No intelligent life.
dang,
Why
I
not?
thought there's gonna be aliens
Well,
here.
it's silly. This is Mars. You can't expect to find a life like our own.
Yeah, he's expecting to find the green-skinned monsters. You know,
Oh,
Jack.
sure.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Oh, the fire coming out of the mouth. No, you don't understand.
Oh, got him, Leslie.
There's a
Yeah.
plant here that supports plant life, right? Yeah. Now take a look at this. This is not an earth plant, but it's comparable at any rate. High chlorophyll content, I'd say. Carbon dioxide
Okay,
consuming.
Professor, no lectures, huh?
All right, here's my point. Supports plant life. It certainly could support.
Burping from that
What
beer.
is driving it? Why aren't there any?
This is live TV. I wonder if they're really drinking beer.
Nothing. Only the barrenness and the howling wind and the lonely plain. Just nothing. I don't know, it's weird. Makes me feel kind of funny.
Ooh.
You sound like a pallbearer. Okay. Listen, those spectroscopic readings said there are minerals out there, right? All right. What do you say we find them?
Right.
Great. Who needs aliens? Let's find
Yeah.
I tell you what, I don't think we're gonna find any very large mineral deposits.
Why, how can you tell?
I can, I'm just guessing. After all, who knows what's out there? Mineral or otherwise.
Well, we'll soon see.
Well, look, ladies, I'm anxious to find out what's out
Got
there. You
him.
want to come along, or you're going to stay here and dish a while, huh?
Come here, come here.
Hey, wait a minute.
Now what?
My rabbit's foot. I almost forgot.
How do you like that? A superstitious science.
Ah, it got us to Mars, didn't it?
Bart, I think the spaceship just had a little bit to do with it.
I don't know, Betsy and me.
They've
we've
been
been
together a long time.
Wow. What has he got? A freaking Geiger
woodblock
counter?
missile.
Be careful, don't.
Those radioactive minerals.
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
Oh, jumping. Hey, Robbie, Jack, come here! Holy smoke! Come on. Robbie, Jack,
This thing's clicking like crazy.
Are you all right, Bart? Am I all right? Brother, just listen to that, will you? That's the sweetest music I ever heard. Am I all right? Just listen. Hey, your counter crazy. What, uranium? Uranium!
Uranium.
Great.
It's all over the place. I tell you, there must be tons of the stuff in this single vein. Just tons of uranium.
Brother, are we going to be rich?
All over the place.
It's the 1950s. Their fantasy is to go to Mars and find uranium.
Yeah.
Plenty for us. How much do you get for uranium now? A fortune.
All about capitalism,
This makes
baby.
it all worthwhile. There's probably enough money in that one vein to pay for the trip 10 times over.
We can write our own ticket on this. Wait a minute, the government's going to be...
No, that's okay. We'll stake out a claim on it. We'll map it up right away.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see how far the vein extends. There may be more. Maybe more
We're
than
gonna
they thought.
pan for
Hey,
uranium.
the whole planet's
Oh God. Oh no.
There's glow in them Tar Heel Hills.
There's a roof on that there planet.
It's just the atmosphere.
Now, Jack, I bet there's more of that stuff below the ground than we ever dreamed of. Enough to keep us for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. I need a cigarette.
Yeah, let me just light up this cigarette near all this uranium.
Now, what'd I tell you, huh, Jack? You guys laughed.
Yeah.
You know something? When I was just a kid, I used to dream of the planets. Now here we are on Mars. All this uranium. It's weird.
Hey, listen, Bart.
Uh-oh.
You sure those tests were accurate?
Huh?
The tests, the one you made when you got here.
You mean the atmosphere tests?
Yeah, is the air all right? I mean, can we breathe it?
Well, we
You're
are
asking
breathing
this
now.
Yeah,
now?
is it all right to breathe?
Yeah,
It's a little late for that, man.
Positive.
Yeah, it's a little thin, but it's breathable. Why?
Nothing, never mind.
What's the matter? Don't you feel well?
I feel great. Come on, let's go. Let's finish up.
My blood's feeling a little thin.
What you need is some beer.
Sure you didn't make a mistake on those tests?
Hey, what's the matter with you?
I got a headache. I never had a headache in my life. I've got one now.
What?
Maybe you got a
What?
I haven't got a
What
fever,
the
I've got
hell
a
was in the
headache.
water back then? How's this guy never having a headache?
Matter of fact, I think I
If
got
you've
the
never
fever.
had a headache in your life, email
Yeah,
screamstreamshow@gmail.com
Why have I got a headache?
because I want to know your
I don't
secret.
know, Jack.
Well, something's giving me a headache.
Well, you don't have to shout it. Shout.
Yeah, for deal.
Just because you're tired.
What?
Maybe you're tired, that's all. All been on the go all day. Maybe you just need a little rest.
What do you mean by that?
That's what I said. For Pete's sake, what's the matter with you? If you're tired, it's nothing to be ashamed of.
I'm not tired. Look, I'm the strongest guy in this outfit. What makes you think I need rest more than you or Robbie, huh?
I didn't say that.
Well, that's what it sounded like.
What makes you think I need to rest? I never need to rest.
Stand around and listen while you blow off.
Hey,
Calm down.
yes, what's all the yelling about?
Ah, Jack's just a little on edge.
I'm not on edge. I've got a headache.
The strangeness of the place. Beginning to get him, too.
Somebody coughed off camera.
Oh, here we go on the planet again.
It was an alien.
There is life on this planet. After all, he's improv.
I don't like it. I've said it before and I'll repeat it. This place gives me the creeps.
What's there here to give you the creeps?
Wind howling all the time, enough to drive you crazy. Never mind. Come on, Jack.
No, what is it? I'm curious.
All right, I got the feeling I'm being watched.
Surely you don't think Jack and I are keeping...
No,
Damn.
No, not you and Jack.
Ah, look out.
Close.
Ah,
Feel like eyes at the back of my neck.
damn, they couldn't get any
Down
closer.
right
in my
street at night
face.
with the sound of footsteps behind you.
That's crazy.
All right, it's crazy.
Damn,
Still don't like this planet.
this is intense.
I could
Yeah.
pilot that ship, I'd leave here right this minute.
You can. Robbie's
Nice.
the one that can fly it. He's not ready to leave, are you?
Well, leave all this uranium...
The camera work,
Come on,
man.
let's get back to work.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I don't see anybody watching us.
I didn't see anybody either. You don't have to get wise about it.
Take it easy.
Okay, look, I'm crazy, that's all. Let's just forget it. Let's leave it at that.
I'm crazy.
Come on,
Let's
the sooner
not
we
talk
finish this,
about
the
it.
sooner we can get out of here.
Yeah, sure, Bart.
Let's just move on.
Somebody watching us. He says I need a rest. You ought to stay out of the sun.
I told you not to get
Listen,
wise about it.
hold up. Listen, you guys. We gotta stake out all the uranium we can find, and we don't have time for fighting. I'm going around with this counter again. Relax. I'll see you later.
I need a cigarette.
Uh-oh. No more cigarettes.
Well, I put it right up here. Where could it have... That... All right, big boy, where is it?
Where's what?
Them's fighting words,
You know
partner.
what I'm talking about. What did you do with it?
Are you nuts or something? What do I want with your rabbits?
Listen, Jack, I put it right down here a minute ago. It sure as heck didn't walk away by itself. Now, where is it?
Look, I told you I haven't got it.
There's a foot.
I say you're lying.
What?
You heard me. And you fork over that rabbit's foot before...
Or what? Are you kidding?
Somebody
Sounds
coughing
like
again.
uranium madness.
Listen, Jack, I'm not kidding. I want that rabbit's foot. Betsy and me, we've been
Betsy
together a
and
long
me,
time.
Betsy and me. Grow up, will you? What do I want with that filthy paw?
The only filthy thing around here is your fat mouth.
What do you mean, you little runt? What do you think you're talking?
I'm talking to you. Don't think you can scare me just because you're big. You big dumb guys are all alike. You think just because you're gonna come from
Oh, shit.
Another peep out of you, I'll tear you in half. Hey, I gotta take any garbage from a punk like you. That's
Shut
all
up.
I need.
Shut up! Shut up!
Oh.
All right.
Oh. Oh. Oh, shit. Scrapping, scrapping, scrapping. Wow.
Getting close.
Oh.
Whoa! Find out.
And let's take a break
Tomorrow.
right there. That was the exciting first half of Tales of Tomorrow, Appointment on Mars. What do we think so far, Evan?
It's I'm wondering how much did people know about Mars in the 50s?
I thought more than this. I'm kind of like was surprised to see them without spacesuits on, and
Yeah, no
you know.
spacesuits. There's plants everywhere.
Right, yeah. Oh, the air's fine, breathable. You know, didn't
It's
see that
just
coming.
a little thin.
Yeah, it'll be fine. You'll be just fine. Yeah, it seems
We
like
won't be able to hear the actors talk if they have those space helmets on.
right. Yeah, that's the biggest impediment there. That would definitely slow down the proceedings. To be sure. So I don't know if it was out of convenience or if literally whoever wrote this just has no concept. Surely they knew at this time.
Surely they knew.
You would think. I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
How much did we know in 1951, 52?
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm reminded of there's a short story that I know and enjoyed from probably like the 1920s where they go to, it's either Venus or Mercury, and they are wearing spacesuits there. I maybe they just thought Mars was similar to Earth.
I guess. Well, I guess that was
Enough.
like always, I guess, the joke in like the 50s. I don't know if it was real. Maybe I've heard it in more things making fun of the 50s, but the idea that, and one day there will be colonies on Mars, you know? Like the idea that Mars was a, inhabitable planet. I guess that was a conceivable idea for some time.
It's gonna be easy. We'll drink beer and smoke cigarettes and mine uranium.
The hardest part is getting there. Once you're there, you can just kick back and have a few brewskis with the boys, and
Yeah, it's funny. Mars looks a lot like the American West.
Yeah, it does. Same cacti and everything. Cacti.
Tents.
Yeah.
I want to go camping on Mars.
Yeah, just classic base camp. Yeah, your classic tent. That's it doesn't need to be anything fancy. You don't need a whole dome. You just need a nice little rinky-dink tent. I mean, it's
I do feel like this is also reminding me of a episode of the Twilight Zone. I mean, take your pick of which spacemen this might remind you of. Right. It's always like, one of them, they go crazy because they get stressed out or something. And
right.
Here, there's like a money element, so it's almost like a gold rush kind of. Like one of them, they're gonna kill each other over this uranium for stupid reason.
More than that. I guess that is the interesting thing about this version of the space industry in the show, or at least whatever you want to call it. The idea that this trip to Mars has been financed by a private company, right? Like, whoever is,
that is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what year NASA was created, but I'm sure that when they were going through the process of figuring out what the space program was going to look like, I'm sure that they were debating, okay, is this something that we do like with private companies, like kind of competing and going and, for their own financial gain, or is this something that the government, that we as a country need to work on together? We got to beat them dang Ruskies. That's what it was. And
the answer is let the government do it, because space travel is really expensive.
Exactly. Yep. I think that was probably the big.
So expensive that the private version of it, you have to be like the richest man in the world to start a space-going venture.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Only if you have that kind of unencumbered wealth that you just, oh yeah, I'll spend a few billion on space travel. Why not? I mean, you buy whatever you, who needs that much power? Oh, I have all the money in the world. I can do it,
Yeah. Well, these guys are better off squabbling and killing each other on Mars than rotting in some Amazon warehouse.
100%. My goodness. They don't need all the, I mean, they made it to Mars. That in and of itself, who needs to become a uranium baron? You're the first man on Mars. What is it? Imagine the history of this country if it wasn't about taking pride in being the first people to set foot on the moon, but it was like, oh, I gotta see if we can mine anything there. Like,
yeah, we showed up first and we got dibs.
There's no pomp and circumstance about, oh, you're the first ones here. No, it's just like, is there anything here we can get out of this? Like, that's a very different world that we live in.
Let's show up and start taking everything that's not nailed down.
Yeah, I mean, thank God for NASA, bringing some structure to the space industry in its infancy, keeping us on the right path. But these guys, yeah, they're definitely headed down a bad road so far. So we'll see. We'll see if they can get their heads on straight and try to at least get off the planet alive. But as we've seen in the Twilight Zone episodes, it's kind of hit or miss on whether you can break out of this psychosis you find yourself under. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. Of course, like you may have already seen at the beginning of tonight's episode, we've got a different sponsor from the one that we had last week. Tales of Tomorrow had 2 sponsors throughout its 3-season run. It had Chrysler Watch Bands, who we saw commercials from last week. And then this week, it's Maslin Carpets. And, I don't know. If you saw our pre-roll coming into tonight's episode, the spokesman for Maslin just seems a little too into the carpets. I don't know. That's just maybe that's just
this guy wants to bang this rug.
That's what it seems like. I want the audience to be the judge because we got another commercial for Maslin Carpets.
Sensual underpinning to this commercial.
Just see. I don't know if he'll do it in this commercial, but see if he fondles or caresses the carpet in any way that just seems a little too suggestive, because it just his hands just kind of linger there longer than they should. There's just something a little icky about it. I don't know. It's just kind of strange. That's the nice thing about Chrysler Watch Bands. You don't have anybody over here, like freaking, like, I don't know. You try to caress a watch band, and you're maybe gonna cut your fingers up a little bit, play around with it too.
Yeah, not quite the same.
I mean, and again, Evan noted, and I would 100% agree with it, that the carpet does look really comfortable. I would like to run my feet through that. But there's just something about the way this particular spokesman, and he's also not a good spokesman. No offense to the guy, but like, again, Evan and I noted in the first commercial how he's like, you see him like maybe his shoulder, or the camera has panned away from him, and he's reading, presumably off a piece of paper. He pauses, and then you can hear a piece of paper being crinkled like it's being turned over, and then he continues reading the copy. So, at least a real professional, you got a piece of paper that you're reading off of. You're going to hold it away from the mic. You know, you're not gonna just. But he did. So I don't know. Maybe he's an inexperienced spokesman. Maybe he's just trying to break the rules. I don't know. Maybe Maslin Carpets just wants to disrupt things a little. I don't know. So I'll let you be the judge. Weird commercials. So we're gonna get this Maslin Carpets commercial, and then when we come back, we'll get into the exciting conclusion of Tales of Tomorrow: Appointment on Mars. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Before I tell you about next week's program, I'd like to show you another wonderful Maslin Beauty Blend broadloom from the Maslin Mills. And here it is, Cantata, a Wilton weave, which means that the yarn is woven right through to the back, guaranteeing extra long wear. Now, the secret of quality in Cantata is in the hidden cushion of yarn under the pile, and the pile itself is anchored forever. Cantata is really luxurious. It features a sculptured design in 2-pile heights for extra decorating value, with the texture of heavy grow point. Cantata is available in several delightful colors, especially selected to complement your room and easily adaptable to contemporary living. The lovely sculptured design of Cantata is highlighted in dark and light green, gray, beige, beaver, and cardinal red. Cantata is a wonderful buy, about $10.95 a square yard, and it's available in widths up to 12 feet. Drop in at your Maslin dealer soon and ask to see Cantata, a Maslin Beauty Blend broadloom brought to you by C.H. Maslin & Sons, makers of fine carpets since 1866. What lies beyond the earth? Is it possible that for everything on Earth there is an exact counterpart on some distant planet? Will you be on hand next week when Tales of Tomorrow presents The Duplicates, a strange, exciting story of the future starring Darren McGavin and brought to you again by C.H. Maslin & Sons, makers of Maslin Beauty Blend broadlooms and authentic hunting and fishing clothes. Before I tell you about...
And we are back. So that was a commercial for Maslin Carpets. I didn't see it, Evan. Did he, what was his conduct?
Sure did. He sure did.
He sure did.
Yeah, that carpet wasn't quite as lush as the first one. So the effect wasn't, exactly the same, but he was definitely feeling up that carpet.
Yeah, I think in the first commercial, he was like really pulling on it. Like he was really like running his fingers in it in like a really strange kind of a way. So
yeah, just furiously sweating just off screen.
Right. God, this carpet gets me so hot. Yeah.
Damn, do the drapes match?
Yeah, this guy, he just couldn't contain himself, They hopefully they'll find themselves a different ad guy, because that's just a little too into
You love what you do.
It's true. Yeah, you can't stop a man if this is really what he's into, then who are we to judge, Give the man his carpet.
Just let me have this.
Yeah. You think he gets to keep the free samples that they show in the commercials? Like, all right, yes, you can take them home. Fine.
His house is just a bunch of rugs. He gets home and just kind of rolls around.
Yeah, just throws another one on top of the pile and rolls on it. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, wow, Maslin Carpets. And they're still around. They're still making carpets. I guess they're one of the big ones.
Well, if they need a spokesman, I can run my fingers through some carpet.
Oh yeah, you get us the shaggiest shag carpet that you sell, and we will get rid of that stuff like hotcakes. Because all that you need is one video of me and Evan just really giving it to this carpet. Not at the same time, of course. But so you really get the full effect of why this carpet would be so good in your life.
That's a deep pile.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. See, the carpet industry is just all like ripe for, some dirty joke writer to have a field day, if you ask me. But that movie hasn't been made yet.
Sex sells, and I don't know if the carpet industry really knows that.
No, but well, it seems like back in the day they knew that. You can't tell me.
Maybe they've forgotten it.
They don't know the subliminal. We know what that guy was. He was getting way too intimate with the carpet. So I don't know. Yeah, I think the carpet industry's lost its way. I think that maybe go watch some old commercials and kind of see what you're missing in terms of your messaging right now.
Yeah.
No?
Let's bring sexy carpet back.
You won't, Maslin. They won't do it. Carpet is too refined now to yeah, I mean, this is turning into carpet stream. We're gonna have to. I'm sure that we will get more Maslin sponsored episodes. We'll be able to talk plenty more carpet talk. Have plenty of time to write out a whole slew of jokes at the expense of Maslin. We have to get into the exciting second half of Appointment on Mars, and I mean, yeah, again. Like any Twilight Zone episode with 3 astronauts, usually doesn't end well for one and or all 3 of the astronauts. I'd say that's probably what
none of these stories ever turn out. There's never a we landed on an alien planet. I'm sure we're gonna make it out and everything will be just fine.
Right. I mean, again, even on Star Trek. You got to have your red shirts to get blasted away while they're visiting the planet. And then, and then they fly off all hunky dory like nobody got killed. But I mean, inevitably, it's just always going to happen. So I guess they don't really mind it too much. But
and nobody important got hurt.
Yeah, that's the important thing. Nobody important got hurt. Yeah, those red shirts have families, okay? Other red shirts. See, that'd be really raising the stakes if the red shirt wasn't just always some like 20 to 40-year-old man or woman, or if it was like, a baby or a toddler or I guess I should say a worker, like a person that works on the Enterprise with a baby or a toddler. It's really up the stakes. Okay.
Not just like a 3-year-old just in the red shirt.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, if you can find a way to make that logical in the plot, I mean, I say go for it. But you might have to stretch it a little bit there. But
child labor laws are a little loose on the Enterprise.
The things got super liberal in the future. The pendulum swung back the other way. Back in the day, it's children should be allowed to work, but in the future, it's like, they should be allowed to work. It's their right. And so, this
is the future as written by Ayn Rand.
This if a 3-year-old says I want to work on a spaceship, you put that 3-year-old on a spaceship and you put him to work. It's the kind of future I want my children to grow up. Oh yeah. So I don't know. I mean, again, we're dealing with a totally private industry tonight. These guys are out here for it seems like they maybe, I don't know, of a mining company. I've kind of missed some of the exposition, obviously, but they obviously went there with the intention to be able to mine something, right? So
they got sent there by the carpet company.
Right. Maslin said, we need more uranium to make our special fibered carpet. And so they just brought back all the uranium they could. I don't know, man. Fucking, what do you use uranium for? Fucking weapons?
Carpet.
Carpet. Weapons and carpet. Yeah. Well, anything before we get into the exciting conclusion of Appointment on Mars, Evan?
I think they're gonna get run off of their lot, their deed,
Yeah,
their claim, I
their
guess.
claim.
Yeah, there's gonna be some Martian banditos that are gonna run them off.
Ooh, that'd be good. That'd be fun. Yeah. What? These are our hills. What are you doing in up in them there hills? Yeah. We'll see. It would really be appropriate for some Martians to come along and kind of ream them out. Like, you guys are here yelling at each other, acting like fools on our planet. Hey, we don't come to your planet.
First of all, you're trespassing.
Yeah. Yeah. You've set up a whole tent. You're clearly you're intending to mine some of our precious resources. And did you get any permits for any of this? I mean, I could just see the people of Mars very much being you know, just all very bureaucratic and following the letter of the law.
This isn't zoned for mining.
Yeah. They're just Martians are just the most boring people you've ever met. That would really be there's your I mean, that'd make a great 30-minute TV episode, but you could maybe stretch that into a whole movie. At least a comedy sketch out of it. There's something there. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The Martians are gonna show up. They're just gonna be the most normal people, and they're just gonna say, you know what, we'll let you guys leave, be on your way, take all your stuff with you, and we'll pretend like none of this ever happened. And then I'd be a little disappointed, but we'll see. All right, Evan, if you've got it cute. Well, again, I have to pull up your dang picture.
Yeah. So time-wise, I'm at 15:02. I think that should
15:02. He says it is picture. Vidya, please. 15:02. Okay. Let's see. I can get you 15:03. Can you get to 15:03?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting conclusion of Tales of Tomorrow, Appointment on Mars, right now.
Second act of Appointment on Mars, starring Leslie Nielsen.
Break it up.
All right. All right, what's this all about? What's the matter with you guys? You going off your rockers? How do you expect to get anything done if you're going to fight? I'll kill him. Get him out of my sight before I kill him.
Uh-oh.
Guys, fight at a time like this is beyond me. You're acting like a cop.
What?
Kid, tell it to him.
All these spacemen and their cowboy holsters.
Now, listen, I'm telling this to both of you.
You're definitely gonna need a gun on Mars.
It's got to stop right now. Look, I want your guns. If there's going to be any fighting around here, I want to take the weapons back to the ship and lock them up.
You're not getting my gun.
Come on, Bart.
No, I'm telling you, Robbie. Save your breath, because you're just wasting it. You're not getting my gun. There's something on this place watching us, and
Bart,
you think I'm giving up my gun? You're crazy.
There's nothing out there.
You're not going to get my gun.
How about you? You realize all this watching business is nonsense, don't you?
Yeah, sure.
Good. Now, give me your gun.
Not while he's got his.
Seems we're at an impasse, gentlemen.
We came here together, you remember?
We're the first ones, the only ones to do it. There's uranium.
Hey,
Tons of it.
douchebags,
Now,
we're
can't
all
you
on the
see if you're
same
gonna
Get
fight
no
team.
place fast, Robbie. This gun stays with Papa.
Nice. This gun stays
Okay,
with Papa.
Papa.
Let's go and eat and turn in. We could all do with a little rest. Well, look. Let's just forget about everything, all right? Get a good night's rest. Everything will look better in the morning, you'll see.
Yeah, sure.
Well, good night.
Night.
Good night.
Oh, shit.
We're gonna sleep outside the town.
Yeah. It's a wild shot, honestly. I like it. It's weird. It's wild. It's gotta be so difficult. Those cameras were fucking huge, dude.
Who took my gun?
Uh-oh.
Martian! Yeah, I see a Martian out there! Get away from me!
Oh.
Get away from me!
Nothing out there.
Yeah, I can see a Martian! I see a Martian! Yeah, there he is! Look out!
I started blasting.
Go!
Yeah, I would like,
Put up your gun.
even if I was acting, I wouldn't like it like a cap gun being blasted off in my ear.
You
Like that.
Martian! Get your hands up!
Oh shit.
You shouldn't have done it, Robbie.
Mm.
You shouldn't have.
But
Oh shit. Brutal.
the gun just went off.
You're lying, you killed him.
What?
What?
Got him down in cold blood, I saw it.
Jack, you got this all wrong.
No, I haven't. I can see it now. It's taken me a long time, but it's finally dawned on me.
But Jack, can't you see?
Shut up. I'm wise to your whole stinking scheme. Brother, were we suckers.
I don't know what you're talking
A
about.
good Samaritan. Captain Robert Malcolm, Mama's little helper. You were gonna protect me and Bart from each other, weren't you? Give me your guns, boys. I'll take care of them. Yeah, you'd have liked that, wouldn't you?
Listen, I wanted those guns in the
Yeah,
gun.
sure. You had it all figured, didn't you?
Uh,
Get the guns and the rest would be easy. Take off. Leave us here dead.
What do I want to kill you and Bart for, Jack?
Uranium, Captain. Uranium.
Oh, Jack,
Tons
be
of it.
sensible.
Enough to make you a king. You didn't want to cut it up three
There's
ways.
more than enough here for the three of us. What do I want to cut you and Bart out for?
Because some guys are like that. Never can get enough. Brother, what a sweet scheme. Well, it's not going to work, pal.
What do you mean?
You're going to teach me how to fly that ship.
I couldn't. It would take...
I don't care what it takes. You're going to teach me everything there is to know.
Jack, that's impossible. It would take you months to even learn the controls, and then after that, there's astrogation.
All right, get going.
Oh, so that's it.
Yeah, you
mhm.
get the idea, Robbie.
Yeah. I teach you to fly, and what then? You take off and leave me behind. Yeah, sure, sure. That's it, isn't it? Then who gets it on? You do. That business with the headache. The way you were baiting Bart. Leading him on till they cracked up.
Shut up. You're not talking your way out of this. Get over to that ship. Come on now. Move, Robbie.
Okay. That's the way you want it.
Oh shit. What?
Well, well. It was quicker than we expected, Craig.
Yes, Ron.
Oh.
Too easy. Such simple minds to invade.
The little one, the one you took the charm from, he suspected for a while. But fortunately, he was the weakest of the lot.
Well, they're all gone now. Do you think more will come, Ron?
I doubt it, Craig. Come, shall we have a look at their ship? It may prove interesting.
Wow. Wow. My goodness. Evan, were you were watching all that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because it
Tale of Tomorrow.
yeah, and so now it's going back into that carpet commercial. So and the rest of it is just let's see, the credits are at like 20. I don't know. The credits are deeper in here. You got to wade through him rubbing the carpet again. We don't need all that. Well, that was the exciting conclusion of Tales of Tomorrow, Appointment on Mars. What did we think, Evan?
Well, I guess it pretty much went down about how you might expect something like that to go down. I like the smug sounding aliens there at the end.
I was not expecting that. Honestly, I thought it just ended with and they killed each other and it was just going to end with their bodies there. I didn't think that they would go as far as, because it's very Twilight Zone-y about that.
To confirm the alien.
Right.
There is, yeah.
You know, I guess it's like
the monsters are due on Maple Street.
Exactly. Right. 100%. There it is. Pretty much the same thing, just and they're on their turf, you know. I guess Monsters Do on Maple Street kind of flips the script on Saw Tonight, but it was still like an interesting little kind of twist on the, you know, it's not just three guys going crazy. You know, okay, I don't mean to go off on a whole tangent here, but like if you promise your audience something in terms of genre, like this is sci-fi. When you see a title like Appointment on Mars, you're hoping Martians. You're hoping we're going to get some aliens, right? I mean, you're hoping that they're even like they did there, just putting them in voiceover. It's like, okay, well, they delivered, you know, they at least addressed it. They didn't just write it off of these guys just drove themselves crazy. That's what drives me crazy is when they use genre as a red herring for it was all in this person's mind. They all like it's just psychological. They're crazy. Like, okay, well, don't tease me with like a, you know, kind of the possibility of something if there's no like payoff there. Like you're just like, oh, that was a red herring. Like I feel like the other anthologies that we watched.
Just kidding. This wasn't sci-fi after all.
Right. I feel like that we got that from One Step Beyond and from The Veil, you know? I think to a lesser extent, Lights Out and 13 Demon Street. So yeah, I think there is something to be said for at least that kind of attempt to have that little twist there and address like your expectation that I hope there's Martians. Like we didn't see them, but they were basically behind the whole thing. That's that's kind of an effective way when you don't have the makeup to you know be able to do Martians.
Do an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they did do, as we saw in the Tales of Tomorrow episode, Frankenstein episode, we saw that they can do makeup if they need to. It's not, anything great, but they'll try to do something. So yeah, I don't know. I definitely like kind of very similar to those Twilight Zone episodes, but not bad, I thought.
Yeah, not bad.
Another I'd say it's funny, last week we had a time travel episode. This week we had a space travel episode. It's, I mean, again,
What travel we're gonna do next week.
Yeah, what realm are we gonna to set off into hyperspeed? I don't know. It's funny because I mean you can see just with these two episodes how this is very much a sci-fi series. Now I think in like the next few episodes we'll probably get a couple little some more horror type things, but I think that there are a lot of Tales of Tomorrow episodes that deal with time travel and a lot that deal with space travel. And so
great.
the first two episodes that we've seen kind of are like setting the tone of what you can expect a lot of the episodes to kind of revolve around. But again, that's what makes like when they veer off and do something a little different, a little more in a horror vein, or just it's something a little more comedic. It makes it fun and fresh. So, yeah. And I mean, I thought Leslie Nielsen just blew it out of the water tonight. Comparable as always.
Yeah. A lot of emotion, a lot of yelling.
Yeah, my God. Yeah, like, and a lot of the, at the end, him fighting and grappling and all that. Apparently, I didn't see it in watching it. I also, my video froze up right during the scene. But in the article that was written about the history of Tales of Tomorrow, which you can find linked on the Wikipedia page, because the name escapes me right now. I'll be talking about it in later episodes for sure. But in that article, they talk about how in this particular episode, something happened during that last fight scene with Leslie Nielsen, who was supposed to have his gun and he didn't have it. It dropped out or something. And so they like that's why he was like strangling him at the end. Like he wasn't supposed to strangle. I think they were supposed to shoot each other or something. And they couldn't make it work. I don't know. Maybe his gun wasn't firing. Maybe because it felt like I heard some clicks. Maybe because he had his gun at one point. So I don't know. But whatever problems were, in the article they talk about somebody that was in the control room, like when they realized he didn't have what he was supposed to have, they looked over at the director and the director was just like, oh my God, no, like what's gonna, they like froze up because they didn't know it's live TV. So, if he doesn't have his gun when he's supposed to have his gun, what's he gonna do? They're like, thankfully, professional that he is, he, kind of improv'd a little bit more of a
killer instinct.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, hey, he's good as like more of a heavy kind of, I mean, again, most people think of him as a comedic actor. He started his career as like a leading man type, really. But then there was a time where he was kind of playing, I mean, if you've ever seen Creepshow, we're going to talk about another anthology. That's a great movie where he plays kind of he's a bad guy. And he's so good at playing a bad guy. And he did like around like right before Airplane, he kind of got the opportunity to kind of play these more bad guys. And he was good at that kind of a role, but he had range, you know? And so it was nice to see him, and we'll probably see him in some other episodes. I don't know if we've got another one on this season that he's in, but if we end up watching more Tales of Tomorrow later on, I'm sure we'll be watching Leslie Nielsen again. But
it's been pretty cool having some names in this series.
Right. Yeah,
Names that we know.
Yeah, we really didn't get that with Lights Out, which is kind of, you know, a little disappointing. You know, we got a name every now and again, but it seems like Tales of Tomorrow did consistently every week. Again, much like Saturday Night Live with a guest host. You know, you really try to get somebody that's really like relevant for whatever at that moment they got something going on, or they're, you know, in town promoting something. It's like, all right, let's get that person on the show. So I mean, so far, some recognizable names. We'll see. They may get a little more less recognizable to some viewers as we go on. You know, so some of these people that were stars back in the classic Hollywood days have never been heard of nowadays. So it's always funny, like when somebody pops up on like a TV show and it's like, oh yeah, that was a big deal. It's like, oh, nobody would know that now. They don't even know who that person is. But it's, you know, that's the cinema, baby. That's the life of an actor. You get your 15 minutes and then boom, or on to somebody else. So, yeah, I mean, early television was definitely kind of an interesting project, an interesting time. And so we've got 8 more episodes to see what kind of shenanigans they get into here in Tales of Tomorrow. But so far so good. And you know, if you thought that we couldn't keep this like future sci-fi theme going, oh, we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it rolling right into to this Friday, because this Friday with our feature, I polled the audience because I wasn't sure, should we wait on this movie to sync it up with the year that it's set in, or should we just go ahead and watch it as scheduled? The overwhelming choice was, let's go ahead, watch it as scheduled, because if we want to, we can watch it again in 2026. Nice Fan, I believe, on YouTube was the one who made that very good point that, you know, movies are eternal, I believe was his exact quote. Movies are eternal. Watch it now, watch it then. It's, you know, you can watch it anytime. It's 100% right. So we are going to be watching Metropolis from 1927. Again, sci-fi, German expressionist masterpiece. Yes, it's silent, but it's a silent movie. If you don't like them, you will love this one. You are going to want to see this one. This is like a very epic and story, first off, and then if you like the stylization that comes with German expressionism, then you're really gonna, I mean, again, like, I think even people who don't like silent movies like that stuff, and it's influenced a lot of things that are kind of a little bit more. So it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be far out. And of course, as always, Evan brings us a delicious cocktail to pair with the evening's film, a little segment which we call,
What were you drinking?
What are we drinking this Friday, Evan?
Well, since we're watching Metropolis, I thought we have to drink the Metropolitan. So this is a pretty old recipe, and we'll talk more about it on Friday, but it's from around the turn of the century, much like this film.
Okay, interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
Evan's got the whole lowdown always on these cocktails. It's very good. He's bringing the history.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. This one, it's a bit like a Manhattan, but it's with brandy instead of whiskey. So if you'd like to sip along with us on Friday, you can make a Metropolitan with brandy, sweet vermouth, simple syrup, and aromatic bitters. So it should be pretty good.
Vermouth is one of those. You know, like if you pronounced it how it's spelled, it just doesn't like, you know.
Oh, some of that vermouth.
Vermouth. You got that vermouth. Yeah, I every time I say, like, typing it up today, that was just my first when I saw it, vermouth. So yeah, if you forget vermouth, then you can be reminded of that in the whole recipe over on our Instagram page. We've got it up there. That's over there at Scream Stream Show. We're also on TikTok and X at Scream Stream Show. Of course, if you want to watch Metropolis and drink and along with us this Friday, you can do that over on YouTube and Twitch. We'll be over on YouTube at Scream Stream Live. So if you want to check out any of our past episodes while you're over on YouTube, you can do that. So then be sure to like and subscribe. And we're on Twitch at Scream Stream Show. Got that. If you want to follow me or Evan on the socials, you can find me over on X at Spakenstein. And of course, Mr. Evan Sink is over on X and Instagram at Caligari Cursed. Anything before we sign off tonight, Evan?
I think we're really on to something here with this carpet idea. I'm gonna go to the Shark Tank and pitch a genre of adult films. Forget the casting couch. Here's a casting carpet.
Ooh. Hear the porno music playing now.
Bow, bow, bow.
Until Friday, sweet screams, everybody.
And to all, a good fright.